Here's a question for you. What's keeping you from reaching your goals? If you're just wishing or dreaming about where you want to be in life and not moving forward, we're going to help you kind of jumpstart that process right now. Adonis Lenzy is the author of a new book called Next: What to Do When You Know That There's Something More, and he's going to give us some free tools on how to get on the road of achieving our dreams. Good to have you with us today. How you doing today?
Thanks so much, Leland. Man, it's great to be here. Thank you guys for inviting me out.
Hey, you're welcome so much, and congratulations on the book. We'll talk more about that in a second, but let's talk about trying to get where we want to be. And number one, we've got to have a goal, and what's the main point on that goal, and I guess a couple of tips on choosing that goal.
Well, I think with that, the main thing you got to make sure when you choose a goal, you got to have a passion for it.
Okay.
You know, don't make it a wish list. Don't choose it because somebody else is choosing it, your friends or your family. But make sure you've got a passion, a desire to accomplish the goal that you're going to write down on paper. Because if you don't have a desire, then when that goal gets challenged, then you're going to be deflated and you're not going to reach it. So you've got to have a passion for it, something that is going to wake you up in the morning and get you started on your way.
All right, so we've got to have a passion for it, but also we've got to make this thing a priority as well.
Absolutely. You've got to make time for it. You know, when we want to do things in life, Leland, we make time for it. We clear our calendar, our schedules. We put it on our calendar. And so your goal needs to be a top priority. You've got to make sure that is somewhere on your calendar. You need to be working towards that every day, every week, because if it doesn't make it to your calendar, you know as well as I know, Leland, it's probably not going to get done.
Exactly.
So if you have time to watch 5 hours of a scheduled DVR program of a TV show, then you've got time to prioritize and work on your goal.
All right, so we've got the goal, we know where we want to be, but you've also got to be a little flexible in that.
Absolutely. You have to be willing to change. Here's the deal. If what you're doing right now is not getting you closer to your goals, then you've got to change some things up. And some people are afraid of change, but change is good, Leland, because, you know, even Einstein said doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, that's insanity. So you've got to change some things up. And so you may start out one way with your goal, and it doesn't mean that your plan is going to work out exactly the way you envision it. So be willing to be flexible as you get into the process and change some things up, rearrange some things to get on your way to reaching your goal.
Which also kind of goes hand in hand with this next tip of be willing and understanding on how to navigate the highs and the lows.
Absolutely. This is so important because when you first sit down and you start thinking about a new goal, chances are, Leland, you're excited about it, you're dreaming about it, and so your emotions are way up here, and that's good. You know, remember those moments, because in those moments your goal is unchallenged.
Okay.
But the moment you take the first step and you start going towards those goals, that's when you face a little opposition, and that's with some resistance, some rejection, some slammed doors. And so those are going to maybe have that opportunity to put you in that low moment, but it doesn't mean that you're not going the right direction. It doesn't mean that the goal is not obtainable by you. It means you've got to just dig in deep. That's why you've chosen a goal that you have a passion for, because it's going to fuel you in those low moments to keep going and press through so you can reach your goal.
And give it a deadline, you say.
Absolutely. You know, even coming here, hanging out with you guys, I had a deadline. I had to be here at a certain time. And so if you don't give your goal a deadline, then you're going to live life, que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. But when you give it a deadline, it's going to cause you to be strategic. It's going to cause you to focus, and it's going to cause you to aim towards reaching that deadline. Because if you don't give it a deadline, then chances are another year you'll be looking at it like, why didn't I reach that? Because you did not give it a deadline. You have to give your goals a deadline. And even if you don't make that deadline, then you sit there and restructure and re-strategize. And so what did I do that caused me not to reach that deadline? And so
you kind of recalibrate,
set a new deadline, and keep moving forward.
Awesome advice. Thank you so very much for being with us today.
Thank you.
You'll find more strategies for reaching your goals in this book called Next, online and at your nextbook.com. Nextbook.com. Get your nextbook.com.
Get your nextbook.com.
All right, super. Thank you so very much.
Hey, thank you so much.